Narrator.com/cinematic tone. The world wakes up to water. Coastlines vanish overnight. Entire cities drown before the sun even rises. It is not a storm, not a flood, not a tsunami. It is the silent disappearance of ice. From the Arctic to Antarctica. From Greenland to the Himalayas. Every glacier, every iceberg, every frozen sheet of ice has melted. This is the question we dare to ask. What if all the ice on Earth melted overnight? What if all the ice on Earth melted in a single night? You might think that a world without ice would be a warmer world, and you'd be right. But there's more to the story. You see, ice is the memory of Earth. It locks away ancient air, records past climates, and reflects sunlight like a shield, protecting us from the sun's scorching heat. Today, almost 10% of Earth's land surface is covered in ice, including the great ice sheets of Antarctica and Greenland, which hold more than 2/3 of the world's fresh water. But what if all that ice disappeared in a single night? Not slowly over centuries, not inch by inch, but instantly. Well, first, we'd have to say goodbye to our frozen water towers, which store fresh water for 2 billion people. We'd also lose important historical records and research data trapped in the ice. And with less ice to reflect sunlight, our planet would get a whole lot hotter. It might not be the disaster movie you were expecting, but it's one that scientists are actually pretty worried about. So stay tuned to find out what they're redoing to make sure it doesn't happen anytime soon. Deep dive: the nature of ice. To understand the catastrophe, we must understand ice. Ice is not just frozen water. It is a climate regulator, bouncing sunlight back into space. It is a water reservoir, feeding rivers that sustain billions of lives. It is a gatekeeper, locking vast amounts of methane beneath frozen tundra. Remove it, and Earth does not simply warm. It transforms. The oceans rise. The climate spins out of balance. Life itself faces an upheaval unseen in human history. Historical and scientific context. We have glimpses of this in Earth's past. 20,000 years ago, during the last ice age, massive glaciers covered North America and Europe. As the ice melted over thousands of years, sea levels rose more than 120 meters. But that was gradual. Ecosystems, coastlines, and humanity had time to adapt. Our scenario is different. All ice gone not in millennia, not in centuries, but in hours. The result would not be adaptation. It would be collapse. Cause and effect, step-by-step consequences. Step 1. The flood. Sea levels would surge by 65 to 70 meters worldwide. Entire nations disappear beneath the waves. Bangladesh, the Maldives, the Netherlands, coastal megacities, New York, London, Shanghai, Mumbai gone. Billions displaced overnight. The greatest migration in history. Step 2. The heat. Ice reflects sunlight. Without it, dark oceans and land absorb more heat. Temperatures rise rapidly. The Arctic, once a frozen mirror, becomes a heat sink. The greenhouse effect intensifies. Step 3. The storms. Warmer oceans feed violent storms. Hurricanes grow stronger, longer, and more destructive. Rainfall patterns shift. Drought grips some regions. Monsoons drown others. Step 4. The carbon trap. Permafrost. Once locked in ice, thaws. Vast amounts of methane and carbon dioxide are released, accelerating climate change beyond control. Step 5. The extinctions. Animals that depend on ice vanish. First polar bearers, penguins, seals. But the collapse spreads. Coral reefs bleach under hotter waters. Fish populations decline. Food chains unravel. Step 6. The human struggle. Freshwater rivers fed by glaciers like the Ganges, Yangtze, and Colorado run dry. Billions Lose drinking water. Agriculture collapses as fertile deltas drown and inland droughts spread. War over land and water becomes inevitable. This is not just climate change. It is a planetary reset. Comparison with human civilization. Human civilization was built during the Holocene, a rare window of climate stability that lasted 10,000 years. Ice at the poles was part of that balance. Without it, Earth would not resemble the world we know. It would be a hotter, stormier, more hostile planet, one that may resemble the Pliocene. 3 million years ago, when there was little ice, seas were higher, and ecosystems were wildly different. But unlike then, today's Earth carries 8 billion human lives. Lives depending on stability. Reflection. The bigger picture. The image is haunting. A world without ice. A world reshaped in a single night. It reminds us that ice is not emptiness. It is life, stored in frozen silence. It is protection, balance, and memory. If all the ice on Earth melted overnight, we would lose not only coastlines and cities, we would lose the very foundation of the world we call home. Conclusion! Closing question. Teaser. And so we return to the vision. Cities drowned. Rivers gone. Storms raging across a hotter Earth. But this is not only a nightmare. It is also a warning. Because ice is melting. Not overnight, but faster than we once believed. The question is not just what if. It is... how much time do we have before pieces of this scenario become real? And if we lose our ice, what comes next? Conclusion. Closing question / teaser, and so we return to the vision. Cities drowned, rivers gone, storms raging across a hotter Earth. But this is not only a nightmare. It is also a warning. Because ice is melting. Not overnight, but faster than we once believed. The question is not just what if. It is, how much time do we have before pieces of this scenario become real? And if we lose our ice, what comes next?